Hello everybody. Welcome to the channel if you're new, and welcome back if you're already a subscriber. Today we are going to talk about my September plan with me setup. So you will see two planners in front of you, and that is like 2 out of, I don't even know how many at this point. It's like 6. It's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I only set up in these two really, which is my Kokuyo Jibun. It's in a Hobonichi cover. That's why it looks like that. And it's an A5 slim size. So it fits in there perfect because it's just a smidget smaller than a cousin. So it works out perfect. And then this is a skinny happy planner setup. And the way I have it set up is I've pretty much taken all the guts out. Literally all the guts out. I've added bill pay checklist, which I don't know that they have this particular one anymore, but there are really pretty ones that I saw at Hobby Lobby the other day. I'm gonna wait to chat about 2024 plans until Q4 setups. I feel like that's a little bit better of a time frame. To kind of let you guys know what I'm thinking and where I'm landing. I'm still trying to decide on 1 or 2 things. I think it's just down to one thing, and that's what my daily pages is going to be in. But we'll talk about that in Q4. Obviously, I know that it is release time for Hobonichi. If I decide to go with something from Hobonichi, I'll be ordering it from JetPen, so I'm not gonna get caught up in all of the release Labor Day craziness, so it's gonna be pretty smooth. But as far as my September setup goes for the budget planner, I'm keeping it really simple. I just started adding in these like gridded list pages, and they have been super helpful. In the past, I was using like the back side of this because it's bill pay on one side and then it is expense tracker on the other. I just found that the expense tracker side was super helpful, but the back side really wasn't. In my head, I thought it would be really good to have it for and I'll probably be a little bit redundant with this, so it's more in case there's somebody new watching, but also if you haven't heard me talk about it before. But I would kind of put the bills that I paid that week on the back, or in that 7-day bracket, whatever, on the back of this. And that was kind of helpful, but kind of annoying because then I was constantly going back and flipping through for that side of it too. And even though I do have like an expense list in this planner as well, it was just getting too complicated. This way it's all on one sheet and I can very easily like mark something out and put the correct amount. But this way at the end of the month, I can like total everything that went to Klarna or Affirm, which right now is a lot because I'm ordering for the October Halloween trip. I'm ordering for Christmas already. I've ordered all kinds of stuff, and I use Klarna or Affirm when I'm apprehensive about if something's gonna work out or not, so I'm not out the whole money to begin with, and I can get it, deal with it, and then ship it back and then pay it off. So that's a little bit why I like to use them, and I feel like I've had great success with that. This list looks really obnoxious. This is not as accurate as it could be, but it's basically got everything that I could pay both for the month and prematurely because I get 3 paychecks in September. So it's kind of everything. But again, this is going back to, I want to be able to see what I'm spending that month on bills. So this way, this will be for September. So I'll mark off everything that I actually pay. I'll put the amount in, and then I'll do the same with October. Obviously, it's not filled out yet because I don't know kind of what I'll need to fill in. I hope that makes sense. If you have questions, please ask them. So for every week, I have a different blank expense tracker. I thought about just like trying to start making this pretty because it's been really sloppy up until this point. And like I said, I don't really use the back page anymore, but maybe like stamping the dates in with like a I want to say like a bookkeeper, but that's not right either. Like the roller date stamps, that's what I'm trying to say. Roller date stamps would be kind of fun. I also have a very large stash of Happy Planner things. So once I run out of these sheets, I'm going to challenge myself to start getting through the stash of things and making my own tracker pages or whatever makes sense until I kind of get through everything. I just think it's pretty helpful. So super simple setup. Just wanted to talk through that for a minute because the grid paper is a little bit new. I added it in the middle of August to see how it would work for me, and I felt like it worked really well. So from here, I'm going to move you guys in a little bit, and we are going to get into the Kokuyo. So the first place that we're gonna start is a tracker page. So we have waking up at 5 a.m. Well, hold on. This super cute washi is from Coffee Monster Co. This was the Wonder Pens collaboration. And I have been hoarding it for like a good, pretty, like kind of early fall spread. Because I think it's lovely that it's like green. So it's not, to me, it's not quite to November yet. It's like very September-y, where we're starting to think about like colder days, the temperatures are kind of dropping, leaves are starting to change colors, like we're inching towards that. And so I thought that would be really cute. And then if, fingers crossed, if everything kind of goes according to plan, I know that there is a pretty good chance that my Q3 box will get here, which I need to put on that expense list because I have to do that before October something. That's very clear, October something. I'm pretty sure it's October. It might be September. I need to look into that. And I'm talking about the Q4 subscription for Coffee Monster Co., just in case anybody wasn't following along with that. But I feel like there are several things in transit right now that fit into that vibe. So I kind of put this in very early into August to like solidify it down. There's some that I've already thought of, like skinny washies that I've already thought of for the rest of the month as well. I think the one for October is probably going to be an Every Minute a Story. I'm pretty sure about that. I think November is going to go back to Coffee Monster Co. I'll probably use one of the wood grains because to me it's a little bit more fall. And then December, I need to look because I thought I had like I really do think I have like this skinny old winter onesies like in a sample that would be really cute. So I think I've pretty much decided what all the tracker page samples are going to be for the rest of the year, I think. But yeah, I think my Q3 might arrive in time for me to put it in something before I leave for the trip, but jury's kind of out because they normally start shipping like the 18th or 19th, and it's cutting it kind of close. Like it might arrive the day I leave, so I'm not banking on it being here. But I do want to use the reading and resting, which we're going to talk about later in this video, but I do think I want to use that for something. I just liked the vibe this gave. Like I said, it's like those early fall vibes. Definitely let me know if you're the same way, where you're like September, it's officially like, okay, we can start switching out some stuff. We can, it's still a little warm, but we're just like hoping for those more fall activities. I'm keeping the waking up at 5. I know this isn't a flip through of August, but I definitely have slacked on that this month. I've slacked on a lot of habits this month. Working out 12K steps, and a calorie deficit. I can definitely tell I'm very like prep for Disney mode, prep for holidays, being around family, like definitely like in the mindset of, I'm a lot more goal oriented during the fall season. It's my favorite time of year. So I tend to like be very into making new plans, hitting my goals. I'm a lot more active in that time period than I am over the summer. I think I've said this in like older videos, like fall is my thrive time. Like that's when I'm gonna go hardcore. That's when I'm gonna be like very excited to check my goals off. I start getting really excited about a new year, and I'm trying to like set the tone, set the pace so that I can start off January like really strong. And it like really starts now. Closing all my rings. I'm still working on adjusting the goals of this. So I think closing all rings is a really good habit because again, I can adjust the hours and the stand hours. I can adjust the calories. I can adjust the steps. What's the other one? Oh, it's exercise time. I've been having quite a bit of difficulty this past month, and I know we'll talk about this in the August flip through, but I've really had quite a bit of difficulty transitioning from Fitbit to Apple Watch. You wouldn't think that that's like a major shift, but it definitely is. I get very annoyed with being under or over notified, syncing everything, trying to get it on the right track. Another big problem that I'm noticing is that Fitbit was saying that I was burning a lot more calories than Apple Watches, and I can't quite figure out why that is. So like changing my eating already to like be in a deficit, and then the extra whammy of I'm not, according to it, burning as much. So it's very confusing. So I am still working. Oh, and the other big thing was power hours. I've always tracked power hours. I can honestly say that I've calmed down considerably, and I feel like my anxiety dropped a lot because in the past I would get freaked out when I would need to get like 250 steps. Like I know I've talked about this in a past video where like I would get really bad anxiety if I was like on a long car trip because I wasn't obviously getting out of the car every hour. So then it was like, okay, so I'm gonna like do 250 steps before 8. So like from 8:50 to maybe 9:10, I would walk 500, like I would make sure to get 500 steps, get in the car, and then basically drive until 10 to 11, then stop at a rest stop. It was crazy. And I know that probably makes me sound like a complete loon, but it's definitely my OCD. And I feel like the Apple Watch change helped that considerably because I'm not getting that alert. Like it's more about hitting my step goal, which I can get behind. And then I used to like have the mental thing of like, instead of 250 every hour, if I was going to hit my step goal for the day, I knew I had to like hit like basically 1,000 an hour from like 8 to 5, and that would tend to keep me on track. So these are all things that go on in my head and my massive OCD habit. So I do feel like the Apple Watch has helped with that, but unfortunately, due to like some sinus issues, not understanding the watch learning curve, I don't feel like I've been super successful in August with those kind of like daily trackables. 64 ounces of water. I've done pretty good with this month, not as good as I could or have in the past, but definitely I feel like we've come light years. I can't wait to the end of the year to compare like January to December on some of the goals that have hung out for the whole year. I think that's going to be really fun. I'm still logging my mood and energy. I really like got into it in the middle of the month, and I feel like I've had good success. So it might stick around for one more month, and then we'll go from there, and I might adjust some things. No beef. So in the past, it's been no red meat. And I say in the past, I've tried it twice like this. The problem is that, as you can see, I'm not having great success with that because I might have like literally like this much bacon or this much sausage, like that's in something, but I count it because I'm like, that's red meat. So what I want to do is say no beef because that's really what I'm trying to stay away from. And this is the part too. So venison is technically red meat, but it's actually a little bit healthier for you than beef. So, and I know going into the fall, we'll probably eat a little bit more deer meat to get the freezer down for new stuff coming in. Supplements is on the tracker. 10-minute projects. I recently talked about this in my Facebook group. So if you're new, I say my Facebook group, it's a Facebook group I'm a part of, not that I run, but I have found great success with the 10-minute project the days that I do it. So a 10-minute project can be any of the big things that you've got going on. So for instance, I had a lot of filing built up at my office, and it wasn't anything that was like super time sensitive to get filed, but it was just obnoxious. And then I just 10 minutes a day until it got in a good place, and I could pass it off to the advisor and say, hey, this is the stuff that we have left, but it doesn't have a home. It probably needs to be shredded. Please go through this. And that was easy to pass off. Then I moved over to working through some outdated or finished workflows that were never completed. So I don't even remember how many I started with. I want to say it was like 35, but it was just like clicking through the last of the workflow, updating a spreadsheet or two, making sure it's accurate, and moving on. I think I'm down to about 8 in there now. And then that can also translate to home projects. So for my at-home projects, it does tend to be stuff like organizing craft cubes. It might be the craft cart that I have. It might be putting a bunch of stickers away that have built up because I've been doing a bunch of Hobonichi 5-year stuff. It could be Hobonichi 5-year. It could be the closet. But the whole point is, it's those bigger projects that we feel like we never have time for, and they just stare us in the face and they make us feel bad. And this way you kind of chip away at it, and before you know it, it really is done. And it's better than if you just maybe devoted a whole weekend to it and still didn't feel like you made progress, or other things got built up. I feel like it's been like a really manageable way for me to work on things. So I suggest it if you feel like you have some projects like that in your life. Reading 10 pages, I definitely want to get back on track with that in September. I've not done super well with it in August, and Hobonichi 5-year is back on here. Just because I'm really trying to catch up a little bit, and I've got quite a bit of travel happening in September and really quirky scheduling. So I feel like I need that and to be on top of it, or else it's going to run away from me again. Now we're going to turn to the September plan, and where is my combo? And then I might have to reach in my purse for my outliners. I got all the things now. So first things first, I did use the Hobonichi cousin kits from 2022. I have the 2023 kits for the first half of the year, but not the second half yet. I'll probably order those over Black Friday sale when there's like a bigger discount. I like to do that, or I might use, I don't know, I might let my points stack up a bit, but that's usually something I worry about towards the end of the year. I'm also kind of on the fence. I want to see what the plans are for her kits for 2024 before I really place any kind of orders and get too crazy. I just really had always loved the themes that were in this one. They just seemed more seasonal, and that's kind of how I usually like my planner to be. This year's kits have been food focused, and while that's cute and I definitely have a use for them because I'm a super big foodie, and so I'm buying them all for foodie purposes and like memory keeping, but not necessarily for a monthly kit. So I'll wait and see what happens before I think Q4 will be a much, like, as we get ready to approach that time frame, I'll be able to give you more details of like all the things that I'm planning for 2024. And then every month I always put the same kind of things, which are full full apartment clean. Baseboards have been hanging out for a half a century. I might have more free time than I thought over the next couple days, so there's a chance that I might be able to get to a baseboard project or magic eraser and some craft cube action. It's very doubtful that I'll finish. I know the closet is not going to get finished, and I know the bathroom cabinets aren't going to get finished. Again, those are 10-minute projects that hang out on here until they're finished. Baseboards, magic eraser, and craft cubes, cabinets, and closet are definitely bigger projects, as are the vids to my computer and like cleaning out my phone, which is just but baseboards and magic eraser has literally been on the to-do list for an entire year. It needs to be done. They need to be done desperately. I'm fully aware of this, but they're not hurting anybody at the same time. So all of my other regular dusting is getting done. They just need to be touched up really bad. As far as work goes, working through September content, which I can actually put a slash in, which I love because I've already started. We'll talk about that. October content, November content. It might seem a little odd to attempt to be that far ahead, but there's a couple reasons for that. Number one, I'm just trying to make sure that content is ready to go as far in advance as I possibly can make it, because that gives me a lot more wiggle room, one, to update chapters and descriptions, and two, so that I can start planning for like Patreon things, and if I want to do that in 2024, and that's going to take a lot of prep time just in general. So I am really passionate about getting that project off the ground. And that takes a lot of pre-planning of what YouTube's going to get versus what Patreon's going to get. I'm a really big advocate for making sure that people can access both forms and not feel left out in any way. Like, of course, there's going to be things that obviously the Patreon videos will be exclusive to Patreon, but I also don't want to I don't want to give YouTube crap. Sorry. I don't want to give you guys the low hanging fruit and not give you stuff as well. Basically, Patreon is just going to be a supplemental thing. So if you love the videos and you just want more, 2 a week is just not enough for you, that's going to be where that's going to make the most sense for you. And I'm hoping to add a couple other things like a monthly Zoom. I am looking at offering one-on-one Zooms as well. I am also thinking even beyond that, once I really get comfortable, do I want to do things like make stickers? Do I want to do printables? So I'm really thinking about lots of things. So I know I've said this before in my videos, but if there's something that you're just oh my God, that sounds freaking perfect, please put that in, make it a tier some way, somehow. I would love that. Please let me know. But that's the reason for making sure content is ready to go. Again, I've already gotten started on some of it. Also working on the custom is a thing this month. It's always a thing. Editing YouTube chapters and descriptions, and updating my resume because I still haven't done it. No, there's not a problem with work. I just want an updated resume because I haven't updated it in 5 years. Saving $150. That's going to be really challenging with some of the travel and things and prepping for this trip, but I really am trying to challenge myself to save basically quote unquote a week's worth of expenses. And this is going back to the budget planner. I want to pre-stuff as much of the new year as I can. I'll probably use my Christmas bonus to set up for the rest of it, if I'm being honest, just to give myself a head start. So the more I can prep in advance, the better off I'm gonna be when I get to the end. But I'm making the promise to myself to have everything set up for quarter one of 2024 before I go back to, I have to have a whole quarter's worth of envelopes stuffed before I can go back to cash envelope system. So I learned that lesson the hard way. And I have to have both of my like emergency savings in a certain place before I can start to staying on budget and paying off the Chase cardigan because some trip things went on it. As far as the spread itself goes, this is where I track my content, not necessarily what I'm planning to post, but what does get posted. And naturally, I already had one oops. And it happened in August as well, where I just wrote them the wrong week. And this was after I had posted them, which is what made it so hilarious. In this particular case, they're not posted yet because my TCMC pre-order has shipped at this point, but is not here. And then the Mabon kit, hopefully, won't be here by then. It cut it really close last time, but this is Mabon right here is the 21st. So I'm hoping that it's here by the 17th for sure. And I can film it and post it. I am going to go ahead and say that I have some really exciting news about not necessarily the Mabon kit, but the company it comes from is Ritual Planner. And I have subscribed to these Sabbath boxes all year. I've got Mabon, Samhain, and Yule left to go. I will unbox them and put them on the channel as they come. We'll talk about plans, all of that good stuff. But what's super exciting is that they were kind enough to ask me to be a brand ambassador. And I think that they are such a lovely brand. I've had great experiences with them. So in the description down below, you're gonna find a URL and you're also gonna find a discount code that they've provided me with to give to you guys. It absolutely does not cost you anything extra. If anything, it will save you money. So if you click the URL and you use it, then it is attached to me. So please try to purchase through that if you are going to purchase. And then the code is WONDER, all capital letters, which I think is so cute because of my name. I freaking love it. And I also love that that's the name of Alice's ship in Alice in Wonderland is the Wonder. I love that so much. But now I feel like that's the movie I need to watch today in the background is The Wonder. But that code will save you 15% off. The reason that I am urging you to use the URL is because then it tracks that it came from me, but it also gives me a slight like a small commission based off your purchase. So I would be really grateful if you use that, if you choose to order or use their products. It does help me out and it just puts a little bit of good back in the world and you get a 15% off code. So on your purchase. So I think that's super great for you. Another company that I'm going to put info down for is Coffee Monster Co. Coffee Monster Co. I'll put my link down there that you can click on. It will save you 10%. And it gives me potato points. So again, it doesn't cost you a thing, but it does get you some potato points. So, or gets me some potato points, saves you 10%. So who doesn't want to save and get some extra stickers or things? So please utilize those if you would be so kind. And then last but not least, if you want to monetarily contribute without ordering from either of those companies, and you'd like to contribute, you're more than welcome to use the super thanks feature that is also on my channel. So I'm done shamelessly plugging all of the ways that you can say, thank you so much, I love your content, here you go. But yes, so throwing that all out there. As far as how I did the icons, I just used my Tombow 977 to do a little swatch and then I outline it. I'm back to my Pilot G2.38. I got annoyed with uncapping and I love this pen and they're the exact same point. I do swear up and down that the Uniball Signo DX does write finer, but I digress. I still have so many of these. And they're just easier when I'm traveling. I will say that these have the tendency to smudge and take longer to dry though. So do keep that in mind. And I've used Pilot G2s for years and years and years and never had an issue or problem. I just know I have to wait a little bit longer to let them dry. So those are the setups. Obviously it's pretty blank because in the middle of the weeks, whenever I post things to the Facebook group or Instagram, I will use, I think I'm going to use this mild liner Oh no, I knew what I decided to do. It's not this mild liner. It is this Tombow, because it comes out to be like, oh my God, I love brown and pinks and taupes together. This is 772, my favorite pink in the whole world. Like, if I could only have one Tombow for the rest of my life, that is my Tombow of choice, is that absolutely gorgeous, like muted pink. But I'll be making like a little dot to just put that I posted something to a group. Yeah, and from there, like I said, I am just trying to get through as much content as humanly possible. And then another thing is that I am trying to get back to the schedule of that Wednesdays are going to be planner things. So planner related, it's going to be your plan with me's, the flip throughs, all that jazz, versus Sundays are going to be memory keeping, hauls, non-planner specific, so like the Mabin kit, because to me that's not necessarily a planner thing. It's a little bit planning, it's a little bit memory keeping, kind of like my ASICs dailies situation. It feels a little bit more memory keepy than plannery, in my opinion. And then this is why there's an arrow. I'm trying to alternate between memory keeping, like showing a planner, or showing whatever I'm memory keeping in. So it might be Project Life spreads, it might be the daily, it might be a Hobonichi 5-year thing, it might be something in that realm. I'm trying to alternate that with the hauls, because so much is coming in right now, and I don't want you guys to feel like it's just like this nonstop showy of product. Like, that's just not what I'm here for either. I want to make sure that I'm showing off plans and memory keeping and what I love the most. So I hope that makes sense. Now we can get over to the weeklies. So I already showed this in my August planning video, but I don't do a lot of prep. I barely do any prep for a weekly spread because I like to have it open canvas, but I do like to go ahead and kind of have a theme picked out. Cause if not, if I don't give some thought to those 4 weeks, I'm liable to like be like, oh, I wish I had used blah, blah, blah. So I do put quite a bit of thought. So of course I'm using I think it's Planner and Things. Was that what it was? Or Planner Supplies? I can't remember the exact name of the washi, but it's like the 1-inch washi. I believe it came out with the March birthday sale stuff. And I have waited all year to be able to plop this down because, as I said before, Labor Day weekend does tend to be the Hobonichi release week, and that's when really everybody and their mother starts like saying what their 2024 plans are. Like, it really comes out hard about that time. The next week, I am looking to you guys to help me out a little bit. Should I use Little Chores or Sunset Shimmer? Some of you are going to be like, what the hell is she talking about? I have no idea. So both of those are washi tapes that are from Coffee Monster Co. And they were available in the pre-order. My pre-order is almost here. So I'm really going to be excited to want to like get one down. I think the Sunset Shimmer could be very pretty, but I do think the Little Chores might be super applicable because this is like the first week of the month really, and with this being Labor Day, I'm gonna most likely be making sure I start cleaning for the month because it's gonna go really fast. Like that Saturday, I'm gonna have to actually work. I have a work event that Saturday, and then the following week a friend of ours is giving birth, and then my mom and I leave for the mountains for the weekend. So I obviously want the house to be clean when she is here, but I also want the house to be clean so that when I come back, there's not a lot hanging out to do. So please let me know what your thoughts are. And if you want to see what those washi tapes look like, obviously my pre-order unboxing isn't up yet, but you can see what they're like on the Coffee Monster Co. website, and you can also see what they're like in the Facebook group. So, and if you're already a Coffee Monster Co. obsessed person like I am, then you already know what they look like. So let me know your thoughts. I'm very conflicted and would love your help. Then next week, I used the Biome washi tape and I cut each one very specifically. I've already done this for Just Keep Swimming, and I also did this for the desert biome. So I wanted to do the mountain vibe. I think it's called Into the Woods, but I wanted to do it for this one since that's exactly what's happening. I'm going to the mountains and the woods. So I thought this would be really soft and lovely for that. This week, as you can see, I'm starting to draw for Mabon. I haven't finished and I have plenty of time. I'm also not in like a super big rush because I think it would be kind of relaxing to maybe work on it while I'm in the mountains, or like finish it up maybe, who knows. But I am beginning to draw for that. So we've got some apple picking, some crystals, just some strolling. I think this is like kind of journaling, reflecting, reading, some tidying, like just that cleaning out for fall. And then I've got a sticky for reading and resting. Again, my pre-order has shipped. It's not here yet, or else I'd be showing you all these lovely washies and saying, hey, help me pick, but it's not here yet. It'll be here soon. And then I think it's supposed to get here actually the day this video posts. So I'm hoping to do reading and resting this week, which I find both applicable and ironic and not applicable. So what's great about this is I will have come back from the mountains and then had Mabon, which is usually super busy because I'm cooking as much as I can. But then this week, I actually leave on Saturday to get to Orlando, and then October the 1st is Halloween Horror Nights. So it'll be kind of bananas. So maybe having a like restful theme that week will help me just stay a little bit grounded. But I've also ordered, I think it's the Bookish kit, I think is what it's called. I want to say A New Day, but that doesn't sound right. I think that's the one that's like lemons. I think it's the Bookish kit. That looks like a perfect match for this washi, and I'm hoping that it's here by that point. It's in the Etsy order, and that Etsy order has not shipped. As you can tell, I have a lot in transit, a lot more than normal. Again, I went completely bananas for the birthday sale. I went completely nuts getting stuff for Taylor and I, so a lot of packages are moving and shuffling all the way around. So there's that. And just in case I haven't given an update, I have talked with Coffee Monster Co. and we are actually sending the damaged, missing product in the Etsy order that the Bookish kit's going to be in. So that's already been resolved. Again, I will die on whatever hill I need to say that they're one of the absolute most wonderful companies I've ever worked with. So I'm super excited that we got that resolved. Otherwise, there's no pre-planning anywhere else. This is it. It's super simple. I definitely do tend to be lighter on the setup side when it comes to a monthly. When it comes to quarterly, I'm a little bit more drawn out, obviously, and that video, Q4 videos will be coming out, obviously, next month. And if there's anything in particular that you guys would like to see a video on, I know I've talked a little bit about if you guys want to know what my plans are for Orlando. I think I'm going to end up popping that in some way, somewhere, somehow. I just think it would be fun, whether I do it as a pre and a post and stitch them together. I think that could be a cute idea. So I love sharing my Disney adventures, and it's not just Disney, it's Orlando. I feel like that can get really confusing to talk about because even though I go to Orlando every single October, I don't always, like, I'm not doing the full Monty every single time. Like, I'm not going to all 4 Disney parks and both uni and IOA and all the things. I always do Halloween Horror Nights, but everything else is tailored to who I'm going with, what I'm doing, what I'm missing, what I really want to do. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing well and had a lovely August and are looking forward to September and hopefully some cooler temperatures. I think we're all about over the heat. And again, if you have any questions, suggestions, ideas, let me know. Thank you guys so much for your support. It means the actual literal world to me. And I will see you guys soon. But until then, enjoy creating your own happy wonderlands. Bye, everybody.